This week on MCrider, we look at 5 skills that I believe every motorcycle rider needs to develop. Hey, if you're new here, my name's Kevin. I host a weekly show here on MCrider focused on road skills or road strategy to help make you a better rider. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and follow every new video that comes out Friday mornings here at MCrider. The first skill that every rider needs to develop is with their head and eyes, simply looking where you want to go. Now, a lot of riders feel like they do this, but in my experience from observing riders, both in training and out on the street, riders very rarely do this. And by looking where you want to go, I'm not talking about just turning your eyes, but I'm talking about turning your head, or as I tell students all the time, point your nose where you want the motorcycle to go. This one thing alone will make a dramatic difference in your ability to ride a motorcycle smoothly and with control. I mean, this skill alone will improve your cornering. It's going to protect you from target fixation. Your U-turns are going to be much smoother, and you're going to be able to do it a whole lot sharper by turning your head and looking where you want the motorcycle to go. You'll be able to see obstacles in the road a whole lot sooner, and you'll be able to read traffic going down the road because your head and eyes are up and you're looking down the road where you want the motorcycle to go. So I like to think of it this way. Don't look where the motorcycle is right now, but look where you want the motorcycle to be next. You're always thinking ahead. You're always planning ahead because that turf that you're on right now, it's too late for you to do anything about that. You need to be looking up the road so you can make decisions as soon as possible. That one skill will make a dramatic difference in your ability to ride a motorcycle smoothly and safely. The number 2 skill that I believe every rider needs to develop is following distance. By following distance, I'm talking about a minimum of 2 seconds between you and the vehicle in front of you. 2 seconds is a gap for an experienced rider with good braking skills under ideal conditions. If any of those things don't match up, you need to consider increasing your following distance. If it's raining out, increase your following distance. If you're not confident with your braking skills in emergency situations, increase your following distance. That's something that I preach on here all the time, and every time this subject comes up, somebody is going to post a comment, well, you don't ride where I do. You don't ride in whatever city. If I have a following distance where I ride, some car is going to fill that gap up. That happens here too. You simply slow down a few miles per hour and you get your following distance back. Well, another car will fill that gap up. That's true, maybe. You slow down, you get your following distance back up. Riding down the road is not a turf war. You need to keep that following distance so that you can see what's happening ahead of you, so that you have time to make adjustments on the roadway rather than having to react to it at the last second. We were going down the road with our family in the car the other day, and I handed my wife the phone to record this. I see this all the time. Riders riding right up on the bumper of the car in front of him. Not only does he have a car in front of him, but he's got a U-Haul further up the road. So this rider is totally blind to everything that is happening up the road. His life is dependent on the drivers in front of him to make the right decision. Don't put yourself in that position. Back up, have a plan, have a way to make adjustments on the road rather than having to react at the last second. But hey, he was wearing gloves and a helmet, right? So his plan, I guess, was if he fell off the motorcycle, he would only hit his head and his hands on the pavement. That's another thing. Wear some gear. The third skill that I believe every rider needs to develop is slow speed maneuvering. So why is slow speed maneuvering so important? Well, it helps you develop your clutch control, your throttle control, the body position on the motorcycle, your head and eye placement like we talked about earlier. All the while you're able to practice this at reduced risk than you would out on the street. In fact, if you can develop your slow speed motorcycle control, it's going to greatly increase your ability to ride a motorcycle at road speed. because a lot of the things that you need at road speed are developed and refined by riding a motorcycle slowly. In fact, it's harder to ride a motorcycle slowly than it is with speed. So if you can develop this thing, then you'll be much safer out on the road. Sometimes even if you're practicing good head and eye skills, you've got good following distance, and you've mastered clutch and throttle control on your motorcycle, something in the roadway happens that impacts your path of travel. That's why our next skill, emergency braking, is one of the fundamental skills that every rider needs to develop. Emergency braking is one of those skills that's going to help you avoid a situation that was likely caused by something out of your control. Somebody on the road does something stupid, but it impacts your path of travel. If you haven't developed the skill for emergency braking, it's not going to be there when you need it in an emergency. So here on MCrider, I've got a lot of exercises and prior videos that you can watch to help you develop that skill, and I'll have links to those in the description of this video. Our fifth and final skill that every motorcycle rider needs to develop is cornering. The MSF teaches a simple technique to get around a corner: slow, look, press, and roll. Simply means that prior to getting to the corner, you're going to slow to your entry speed. After you slow down, you're going to look. Remember those head and eyes. You're going to point your nose in the direction you want the motorcycle to go. You'll press on the hand grip. So if you're going to make a left-hand turn, you'll press out or down on that left-hand grip. Motorcycle will lean to the left and go to the left. And then you'll roll on the throttle. So you're either increasing speed or you've got maintenance throttle through the corner. That's the fundamental cornering technique, that slow look, press, and roll. I have a whole series here on MCrider that teaches that in more detail, shows you how counter steering works, how a motorcycle turns, and then we go step by step through that procedure to help you develop the fundamentals of cornering a motorcycle in the safest way possible. So what do you think of my list? Head and eyes, following distance, slow speed control, emergency braking, cornering. The 5 fundamental skills that I believe every rider of a motorcycle needs to develop. If you can develop these skills, it's going to keep you much safer and reduce the number of incidents that you're involved in. In fact, the head and eyes and the following distance, you can master that this afternoon simply by applying it to your next ride. The other ones you can begin to develop, and over time you increase your skills and your confidence in those. You decrease the odds of being involved in an incident out on the roadway. People who support this channel on Patreon have access to the field guide, where I've got several exercises in there that you can practice on any open parking lot. I've got parking lot diagrams on how the exercise can be conducted and videos demonstrating the technique so that you can work on these skills on your own on any open parking lot. Patrons also get access to our forums where we have daily discussions, motorcycle related topics, and we answer questions. Myself and other experienced riders are there to help you get started and to help increase your skills and confidence on a motorcycle. So I hope you'll consider becoming a patron of MCrider. You can learn more about that at mcrider.com/support. And until next week, guys, this is Kevin with MCrider, and we'll see you on the road.